Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Life is Feudal Forest Village. Hopefully getting these towers finished up today. This one's already done. Oh wow, it only upgrades that many. Okay, thought it went up further. Well, getting hit by the lag a little early here. Not thrilled about that, but you know, life goes on. We'll live with it. So I've been watching, for those of you who don't know, well, not this part. Doesn't matter if you know this part or not, but I'm fairly into comics. I don't buy any, but I'll read them if I catch them online somewhere, hopefully legit. I'm not really interested in pirating them so much, just like if I see something, I'll read it. Sometimes it's plot synopsis off Wikipedia. I enjoy it. I like the stories. I like, I'm not really into realistic stuff. I like fantasy, sci-fi. Stuff that can't happen in real life, basically. Because, I don't know, it's just real life. I get real life. Real life is interesting, but it's like playing... It's like playing Skyrim without mods. It's not exactly like that, but yeah, saying that, I think you probably kind of get what I mean by that. I'm gesturing with my hands like you guys can see, but you get the idea. Yeah, I enjoy comics because it's like a fairly prolific, but not completely horribly written set of stories in that vein, in that kind of like fantastical, not fantasy, not sci-fi, well, maybe sometimes sci-fi, but unrealistic. And it's prolific. It's not just like, hey, here's a book. And the art's nice too. Hellboy, and by the way, if you don't know anything about Hellboy, or if you only saw the movies and you thought the movies were goofy and dumb, they're actually alright. They weren't completely terrible. They weren't as good as I would have liked. But if you have a passing interest in comics, and you're only going to check out some, check out Hellboy. The art is incredible, and the writing is superb as well. I really, really, really like that. That's probably my favorite comic series out there. It's based on a lot of, right, that was how I wanted it set up. Okay, it's based on a lot of mythology, basically. The movies kind of did a not terrible job of showing it, but they could have been way better. Well, I don't know, maybe they couldn't. Maybe, like, if there were Marvel tie-ins, they could have been better. Like, if you handed that property to the Marvel guys, I'm sure they could do a hell of a job with it, but that's never going to happen. Hellboy's just not big enough for anyone to care. But all things considered, they did a pretty good job with the property. Better than I probably would have expected, I guess. Kind of on a similar tier as the Blade movies, probably. I'd say the Blade movies probably have more of a mass appeal, but of course they do. It's just vampires. Everyone knows what a fucking vampire is. No one knows what the hell Hellboy is. So it makes sense that the Blade movies would have more appeal. But anyway, that's not really what I was getting at. What I was getting at was, you probably know Netflix has some Marvel, like, they're not TV shows because they're not on TV, but, you know, they're shows. Episodic shows, not movies. So you got Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Jessica Jones Season 2 just came out. So I've been watching that, actually losing sleep over it. Not because I can't sleep, but because I idiotically stay up late and watch it. Which I kind of did again today. I'm recording this late. Again, even though I had free time to get it done, but I'll rationalize it by saying there was a Sharks game that I enjoyed. Thankfully they won, and oh, what was the other thing? Why is my brain not working? Right, for work today, I didn't have to do this, I just did it because I had some free time. Pac Mills died of old age. Okay, right there. I was helping, we have a couple new team members in our group, and the job that I do, it's weird, kind of. I don't know how to explain. There's kind of I do two jobs, basically. And I'm not saying I work 16 hours a day, because I don't mean it like that. But I fill kind of two roles. One would be a data entry role, and it's very complicated data entry that has to be accurate. So it's, you know, I'm not saying it's just some idiot sitting in front of a keyboard hitting buttons, and even though that's literally what I'm doing, it's not as simple as that makes it sound, is what I'm getting at. It's complicated work. I think I should just put more weavers here. I'll probably, if I'm going to build more warehouses, I'll just build them back. Because I don't really feel like... Do I have anything else that I need to put over here? Like schools, probably. A single school would probably cut it. I think that's all I'm gonna need. Smithy, schools and smithies, basically, that's all I need. I think I can afford 4 more weavers. Step back there. Tavern's unnecessary, we don't need to worry about that too much. But yeah, basically, I do data entry, and I do planning. Planning is my job title. Planning is the complicated stuff that's, like, fun. Because it's interesting and, like, it's kind of solving puzzles a little bit. And I've discovered that I have... This is a blessing. This is a tremendous blessing. And this is my favorite part about who I am. Because of what it affords me. I have a... This is perfect spacing. That's hilarious. I have a somewhat voracious appetite and desire to go to work, be confronted with a problem that involves numbers, data, and or math, and solving it. And that's kind of what I do. It kind of involves supply chain and making sure materials are available at the time that they need to be, but also managing, you never want to have too much inventory, because inventory, in a very general sense, it costs money to buy a good, any good, right? We all understand that. You can't go to the store and get stuff for free. Everything costs money. So if you have inventory, that inventory represents dollars. And if your dollars are tied up in inventory, they can't be spent on other things that might improve your product, improve the efficiency of your company and your manufacturing line, get more talented employees who can do better at securing sales or anything like. There's all kinds of things you could spend money on that are better than sitting on inventory. Some of the biggest, I guess you could say, movements in manufacturing over the last decade or so revolve around something called lean manufacturing, which basically the principle is that you only have as much as you need. It's about eliminating waste. Waste is anything that is not absolutely necessary. Anything that you have before you need it is waste. And that's not totally true, because you want to have some buffers to mitigate any variance in your process. Like if something takes longer than expected, you want to have a buffer for the next process in line so it doesn't go line down. You never want to have anything go line down, if possible. So in Factorio, you can kind of see that. You'll see pieces of this in Factorio, which is why I love Factorio. But regarding inventory costing money, funny little anecdote for you. Almost none of you, I would bet there's a 0% chance that any of you know this already. So this will be an interesting fun fact that you can learn. If you go to a store, that store will have things on their shelves for you to buy. Who do you think owns those things? Interesting thing is that I believe it's Walmart. Walmart is so big and it has so much weight to throw around in the world that they don't own the product on their shelves. They do not own for it. They have not paid for it until you pick it off the shelf and go pay for it at the cashier. They don't pay until point of sale, time of sale, or whatever you want to call it. The manufacturer or distributor owns the product on Walmart shelves until it goes out the door. And I'm pretty sure it's Walmart. That's called vendor... Or no, sorry, not vendor. I was going to say vendor managed inventory. That's a different thing. That's called consigned inventory. And it puts Walmart in a position, again, if I'm getting the right company here, I think I am, it puts them in a position where they freed up. Can you imagine how much money it would cost to have inventory for all of the stores at Walmart? Because you're not just talking about what's on the shelf, you're talking about what's in warehouses, distribution centers that need to go out to the stores to restock them every night. Or every week, I don't know how often they do it. Think about how much money that is. That's probably billions of dollars worth of stuff that's at Walmarts all around the world. Even just in the US, it's an obscene amount of money. And they don't have to spend a penny of it because they don't realize their costs until they realize their profit, or their revenue. So there is no cost. They don't pay until it sells. That's huge, and you never, ever get that without being the kind of unbelievably huge behemoth that is a company like Walmart. It's very rare for any company to be able to do that. So that was a fun little thing that I learned in the certification course that I was taking, which I actually need to study for that test. But it's crazy, right? Imagine that. And you can think of the impact that has on a business like that. How could anyone get to where Walmart is, ever, in that market? Because they could just... The amount of money that Walmart has to throw around that they wouldn't otherwise have. They'd have that tied up in inventory. Any competitor to theirs is going to have to dedicate so much more money just to sitting on product. It's insane. So they'd never be able to have... No one would ever be able to easily compete with them without really, really being better in, like, a serious way. So I always thought that was kind of incredible. Oh, we are done with research, apparently, but probably just because we have to upgrade this before we can get more. That's fine. We can get that done. I need wood, though. Ooh. Stone quarry's out. Alright, we're gonna have to start rebuilding these. I don't really want to throw too much manpower at this, but... You know, we do need stone. We're down to one working mine. That's not really good enough. Yeah, anyway, I kind of manage... It's not really inventory management, but it's sort of everything I do impacts inventory management, so I kind of think of myself as an inventory manager. I work really closely with the actual warehouse teams to kind of like, hey, you know, what can we do working together to save the company money in storage costs and inventory costs? By the way, did you know that there's a cost? I mean, you would know if you thought about it, but you probably never thought about it. There's a cost of having inventory, not just paying for the inventory to get it in the first place, but just having it. There's people you have to pay to maintain it. It has to be on a shelf in a system somewhere. You have to account for it somewhere. There's carrying costs. The building has a cost where it's stored. The shelves have a cost where it's stored. The forklifts have a cost to move it around. Everything has a cost. There's taxes that you pay on holding it. There's taxes on the building, property taxes that you pay for having the storage facility in the first place. You lose money in so many places for having inventory. And that's called carrying cost. And it's... Just as an example, I'm in Silicon Valley, right? How expensive do you think land is here? Crazy expensive, right? Naturally, that would make the carrying cost much higher, because the cost of having land that you're putting to use for nothing other than storage is much higher. So, interesting thing to think about. It's a lot of fun in my mind, I mean, at least to me, to think about this stuff and kind of like... It's like real-life Factorio, and that's kind of what I get to do for a living. And I love that part of my job. The data entry, a little bit less so, but doing the data entry kind of forces me to be a really detail-orientated person, and I kind of appreciate that. Oh, I'm out of people. People die? What happened? People died. Minor from an accident, minor from an accident. No, we only had like 2 deaths. What happened? That was before. And I just had like more people come. What the hell happened? I must have put them somewhere else. Is it? I mean, it might be these guys, but I need that. That's definitely necessary. Whatever. We'll take it from the builders. Kind of peeved I'm not going to be able to get the wood I need for this, but whatever. We'll get there. Go down to 5 builders, it's probably a better choice. But yeah, it's crazy. Business is really interesting, and it's a shame that there's not as much I mean, it kind of makes sense that there's not as much manufacturing anymore, but what I would really like to do is imagine if you could do this kind of work, supply chain management, everything, like in space, and you had mining operations and stuff, and you have to manage the flow of material from mines to manufacturing plants, processing plants, because you don't just pull steel beams out of the earth, right? There's a lot of interesting stuff, but by that point it'll all be automated. It's, for all I'm talking about it, it's mostly, I think a lot of the time, you only really have to do this kind of work when something goes wrong. Because for the most part, you're like, okay, well I need to build 10 of these on this day, and it takes 5 of each component to make it, so I need 50 available for that day. And then you account for buffer and whatever within that, and that's it. But, you know, something goes wrong, you have different suppliers, you gotta figure out which one you want to get it from, which one has better quality. One of them suddenly has a quality issue, hopefully you got one nearby that can ship same day and get you the product you need to keep you from down. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen and go down, and it's crazy and chaotic and stressful at times, and none of the issues that I mentioned have anything to do with my place of work. I'm not saying anything at all about my place of work. I'm purely speaking about the job overall and how I see it in the overall industry based on the certification training that I've gone through. It's crazy, chaotic, and it's fun because it's really like playing a puzzle game in real life. And I, for whatever reason, enjoy that so much more than playing an actual puzzle game. I can't tell you why, but it's glorious fun. Anyway, that completely sidetracked what I was saying. But, I mean, I'm all about I figure if you're still watching these, you know I'm all about tangents like this. This is my bread and butter, kind of being passionate about something and talking about it for a while. Wait, why do we have people that are ZZ? Oh, there's no research. Yeah, okay, yeah, totally. You guys can go work. That was stupid. Why didn't I remember that? Whatever. Anyway, we got a couple new people. One of them is an older guy. He has experience, but he's not very good with computers, which is problematic in my view. I feel like skill with computers is the most valuable skill. If I was hiring and someone was not very quick with a computer, I would probably not really consider them. Which I guess sucks if you're older, and sorry, but it's just too critical in this day and age to be able to use a computer efficiently. And if you're just, you know, if you're slow with a computer, you're gonna do everything slowly. There's just no getting around it, right? How could you be quick with anything if you're slow with a computer? I should start getting rid of these. And the other guy's younger, and apparently he has done some programming work, so he's pretty good. I like him. He's been very easy to train so far, but yeah, that's what I was doing. I was kind of showing them the ropes and training them and showing like, hey, here's how we do this, this, this. And it's a lot of info to take in, and they're never going to get it the first time around, and that's fine. No one should ever expect them to. I'm not complaining about that, but it involves a lot of talking on my part, and I already do a lot of that between streams and recording, so my throat has been kind of perpetually sore for the last few weeks. Like, I'm not sick at all, but I also feel like I have a cold, basically. Or a cold without being congested at all. I'm actually perfectly healthy. I just talk too much. It doesn't help that I keep missing out on sleep and then relying on caffeine, and then that makes me kind of manic, and then I talk more. And yeah, it doesn't help. But, you know, this is, I don't know, was I a workaholic all the time? Definitely not, but did I have it in me the whole time? Maybe. Or did circumstances make me a workaholic? Did I become a workaholic because that's what I am deep down. Is this who I am underneath it all? Or did circumstances... Sorry, I totally botched that. Basically, nature nurture. Is this just who I am, or did the situation that I'm in necessitate me becoming a workaholic? I don't know. I'm gonna say that it's probably just who I am, because, let's be blunt, I don't have monetization on YouTube anymore. I'm not making any money doing this, but I'm still doing it. I'm still taking it seriously. And that's a lot of work. So probably it's just who I am. And you know what? I kind of like that. I've spent a lot of my life not really respecting myself, not really liking who I am. And in the last 5 to 10 years, I sort of have. I've liked me. I've been proud of who I am. And I think this is a big part of being proud of who I am, is being hardworking and getting things done. I think that's something I can be proud of that. Whatever else I got going on, maybe I play games too much, maybe I'm not as productive as I could be. Maybe I could just be a better person in general, all that. Totally fine, valid, true. Don't have an issue with that. Bottom line, I work hard, and I can have self-respect because of that. That's not something I've always had in my life, so I'm kind of happy to have that. Anyway, that got... I don't know, I'd say maybe it got deep, but I live in deep. I like deep. Deep is my bread and butter. I like things that matter. Things that have meaning, at least to me. Which is funny, coming from someone who plays video games on YouTube. But, whatever. All shapes, all sizes, right? Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please, actually, I don't say this much, but if you enjoy this kind of commentary, please let me know. I had a similar, like, in-depth talk about programming a while back. I haven't talked about programming in a while. I should probably get back to that. Because there was someone who wanted to hear about that kind of thing. And I apologize that I haven't been talking about it. But if you enjoy, like, I guess it's work talk. Maybe that's not your not the right thing for demographics that might be mainly a bit younger than would be caring about that sort of thing. But, ooh, these guys landed. I think. Or, no, they're just coming. There they are. Okay, I don't have to worry about them yet. I'll see them when they land. Anyway, yeah, feel free to leave a comment if you like that kind of commentary. I really enjoy it. Work is sort of something that, as you've kind of heard through this commentary, defines who I am a little bit. And not in a bad way. I like solving problems. I like improving things. I like having an impact. So, if you enjoy hearing about that, please let me know, because I get a little self-conscious talking about this stuff, because I know it's probably not the most popular, but I'm passionate about it, and I like it, so hopefully you guys do too. Anyway, like I was saying, thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, hope you'll join us the next one as well. If you did enjoy it, there's always twitch.tv/electronicmoose, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday... Wow, I am stupid. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I think I fucked up that part of the outro, like, 6 or 7 episodes in a row. Why can I not do days? Anyway, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. Feel free to come by and check out a stream if you like. If not, thanks for watching all the same, and I'll see you next time. Take care.